what's the difference between there's certain buzzwords or keywords, right? There's staffing agency, and then there's recruitment process outsourcing or RPO. We can go as high level or as deep as you want to, but can you just give sort of the lay of the land of what it's like to work with a recruiting partner that's not in-house?
Yeah, absolutely. So you had kind of mentioned three different options that we have there when it comes to recruitment, in general. Like we'd already talked about, when I hear the word recruiting, I'm thinking of the fact that we're being reactive, right? We are reaching out and trying to backfill positions for people that have left. We are really just trying to keep the business afloat among some of the issues that they're currently having. The next one that we had mentioned was the outsourcing piece of that. And this is going to be a much larger kind of operation that you're taking into your business in order to make sure that you get the proper candidates. A lot of the outsourcing is we're working with people that, are employed by another company, and they're actually just working on projects for you. And the last one that I really like to focus on is the talent acquisition portion. Talent acquisition and talent management, I believe, is one of the more fundamental things that you can do in order to make your business successful. Because what that really means is that we're not just worried about what's going on currently, we're worried about planning for the future, right? We are having constant conversations with clients and saying, what do you have coming up in the next quarter, in the next 6 months, in the next year? And we're actually being proactive about those things. Making sure that if you've got a project that you're trying to bid on and thinking it's coming up, reach on out to us and say, hey, I'd like to make sure that there's actually a good pool of these types of candidates out there. Can you all take a look and see if this is something that's going to work for us? And my answer is going to be yes every single time, because that's going to allow us to build the relationship and make sure that the projects that you have coming up are staffed properly. Now, what we're seeing with a lot of these companies, and Joe, you hit on it perfectly, is that, you've got an HR director or an HR manager or vice president of human resources, whatever that is. And to try to tie recruiting in for that person on top of all the responsibilities they have makes it an impossible job. Burnout is something that we deal with quite often in the HR field, and mostly because of the fact that, in my opinion, again, that what we're doing is adding all of these extra pieces into one position, which should be multiple. Now, what we do as a recruiting partner is, instead of you having to go out, locate a person, hire that individual, potentially they don't work out, maybe they didn't have the right type of recruiting experience, the hustle's not there to get the entire thing done for them, you can actually come to us and pay a fee, a small portion of what you're actually paying this individual, for us to not just get you a candidate, but to get you the person, the individual that you are looking for that position. That is always our goal. A recruiting partner is not somebody that's supposed to send you, kind of mediocre candidates, or, maybe this guy will work, or are you guys willing to, maybe cut some of these qualifications you're asking for, because this guy in that case would be perfect. It's not what we do. What we do is we understand the position that you're trying to fill. We identify individuals that we feel like could absolutely do that position. We make sure that we understand exactly what their capabilities are, and then you get them. That's really what makes us different. You might have turnover at some outrageous percentage in some of these situations, because all we're doing is sorting through resumes and saying, yeah, this one might work, but this one probably won't, or this one might work, but this one probably won't. With a recruiting partner, our job is to really dig into what your needs are. And once we identify those needs, identifying people that line up with those needs, understand your culture, understand what you're really looking for as far as kind of that overall office feeling. And then what we do is we encourage that person to get into that seat. And so, it's nice, because for a lot of these folks, HR people in particular, it becomes an out of sight, out of mind thing, where suddenly they're able to just open up their email and say, oh, hey, we've got a new candidate for this position that Jumpstart sent over to us. And you can have the confidence in knowing that when you open that email, that resume is going to look like what you're looking for. And so that's really what makes it different. We can throw stuff at the wall and hope that it sticks all day long, or we can follow the process and do the legwork up front. And my plea to a lot of these companies is please let us do this. And not only because we're a business as well, but because we want to see our business partners succeed and thrive. And the best way that they can do that is by putting the right people in place. So give us a call, because we can do that for you. And I'm very confident in my ability and the ability of our team to make sure that that happens for you.